I've rebuilt 347 Lexus engines in my career. Every single one failed for preventable reasons. Not wear and tear, not bad luck, not manufacturing defects. Preventable failures caused by owners who didn't know what to watch for. Here's what frustrates me most. Lexus builds some of the most reliable vehicles on the planet. Their engines are over-engineered to last 400,000 plus miles. Their transmissions are bulletproof when maintained properly. Yet I see the same 5 failures over and over. Different owners, different models, different years, but always the same root causes. These aren't random problems. They're predictable failure patterns that happen at specific mileage intervals if you don't take preventive action. I've spent 26 years working exclusively on Lexus and Toyota vehicles. I've tracked every failure, analyzed every pattern, and identified exactly when and why these problems occur. Today, I'm exposing the top 5 Lexus failures I see most frequently in my shop. More importantly, I'm showing you exactly how to prevent each one. These failures cost owners between $2,000 and $12,000 to repair, but they cost less than $500 to prevent if you know what to do and when to do it. Keep watching, because understanding these 5 failure modes will save you thousands in repairs and keep your Lexus running strong for hundreds of thousands of miles. Let's start preventing failures. Failure number 1. Carbon buildup on direct injection engines. This is the #1 performance problem I see on modern Lexus engines built after 2006. Direct injection is brilliant technology. It sprays fuel directly into the combustion chamber for maximum power and efficiency. But it creates one serious problem: carbon buildup on intake valves. In older port injection engines, fuel sprayed over the intake valves, naturally cleaning them. Direct injection eliminates this cleaning effect. Oil vapors from the PCV system bake onto the valves, creating hard carbon deposits. By 80,000 to 100,000 miles, most direct injection Lexus engines have significant carbon buildup. The symptoms start gradually: rough idle, especially when cold, hesitation during acceleration, reduced power, misfires that come and go. Fuel economy drops by 2 to 4 miles per gallon. Most owners don't connect these symptoms to carbon buildup. They think their engine is just getting old. Some take it to dealers who diagnose expensive sensor failures or recommend fuel system services that don't address the real problem. Here's what's actually happening. Carbon deposits restrict airflow through the intake valves. The engine can't breathe properly. Combustion becomes inefficient. Power drops. Fuel economy suffers. Eventually, deposits get so thick they prevent valves from sealing completely, causing compression loss and misfires. If you ignore it long enough, you'll need professional walnut blasting to remove the deposits. This costs $600 to $800 and requires removing the intake manifold, but you can prevent severe buildup with regular maintenance. Add quality fuel system cleaner every 5,000 to 10,000 miles. Use products like Chevron Techron Concentrate or BG44K that contain concentrated detergents. Drive your Lexus hard occasionally. Carbon burns off at high exhaust temperatures. Monthly highway drives with full throttle acceleration help keep valves clean. Consider professional intake cleaning at 100,000 miles as preventive maintenance before symptoms develop. It's cheaper and more effective than waiting until performance problems appear. Models most affected: ES, IS, GS, and RX with V6 engines from 2006 to 2020. The 2 GRFSE and 2 GRFKS engines are particularly prone to this issue. Failure number 2. Water pump. Failure at 100,000 to 150,000 miles. Water pump failure is predictable, preventable, and potentially catastrophic if it happens while driving. Lexus water pumps typically last 120,000 to 150,000 miles, but they don't fail suddenly. They give warning signs weeks or months before complete failure. Here's why water pumps fail. The pump has a seal that prevents coolant from leaking and bearings that allow the impeller to spin smoothly. Over time, old acidic coolant degrades the seal and corrodes the bearings. The first warning sign is usually coolant seepage from the weep hole underneath the pump. This small hole is designed to leak when the seal starts failing, giving you early warning. Next comes bearing noise. You'll hear a squealing or grinding sound from the front of the engine, especially during cold starts. This is worn bearings telling you they're dying. Finally, you'll see visible coolant leaks or notice the temperature gauge climbing higher than normal. Here's the danger. When water pumps fail completely while driving, they can cause catastrophic overheating in minutes. By the time you notice steam or warning lights, your engine may have already warped the cylinder heads. I've seen $8,000 engine repairs from water pump failures that happened on the highway. The owner didn't notice overheating immediately, kept driving, and destroyed the engine. Prevention is simple. Replace the water pump proactively at 120,000 miles, even if it's not showing symptoms yet. The pump costs $150 to $300 and takes 2 to 4 hours to replace depending on your engine. For timing belt engines like older V8 models, always replace the water pump when you replace the timing belt at 90,000 miles. The labor overlaps completely, making the pump replacement essentially free. Also, maintain proper coolant service. Fresh coolant every 50,000 miles prevents the acid degradation that kills water pump seals prematurely. Inspect the weep hole every oil change. Any moisture or crusty residue means the pump seal is failing and replacement is needed soon. Models most affected. All Lexus models, but especially high-mileage RX, ES, and GS models. The GX and LX with timing belts should always include water pump replacement with belt service. Failure number 3. Transmission valve body problems from neglected fluid. Lexus transmissions are incredibly durable, but they're not immune to failure from neglected maintenance. The most common transmission problem I see is valve body malfunction caused by contaminated fluid. Here's what the valve body does. It's the brain of your automatic transmission, controlling hydraulic pressure and shift timing through dozens of small valves and solenoids. These components operate in microscopic tolerances and depend on clean fluid. When transmission fluid gets old and contaminated, wear particles circulate through the valve body. These particles clog narrow passages, cause valves to stick, and damage solenoids. The symptoms start subtly. Delayed engagement when shifting from park to drive, harsh shifts, especially when cold, transmission hunting between gears on the highway, occasional flare-ups where RPMs rise during shifts. Many owners ignore these early symptoms or assume they're normal for aging transmissions. They're not. These are warning signs of developing valve body problems. If you continue driving without service, the problems escalate. Check engine lights appear with transmission codes. Shifts become consistently harsh. The transmission may even go into limp mode, limiting you to third gear only. Eventually, internal valve body damage becomes severe enough that cleaning won't fix it. You need a complete valve body replacement or transmission rebuild. Cost $3,000 to $5,000. But this entire failure mode is preventable with simple fluid maintenance. Change transmission fluid every 60,000 miles for non-hybrid models, 80,000 miles for hybrids. Use only genuine Lexus transmission fluid. The 8-speed and 10-speed automatics are extremely sensitive to fluid specifications. Never power flush high-mileage transmissions. Always do simple drain and fill. Flushing can dislodge debris that clogs valve bodies and causes immediate failure. If you're buying a used Lexus, check the transmission fluid immediately. Dark brown or black fluid with a burnt smell indicates the transmission has been neglected. Budget for immediate fluid service or potential transmission problems. Models most affected: ES and RX models with 6-speed and 8-speed automatics, especially 2013 to 2020 models with high mileage. Failure number 4. Control arm bushing deterioration. This failure isn't catastrophic like engine damage, but it dramatically affects how your Lexus drives and leads to expensive repairs if ignored. Control arm bushings are rubber components that connect suspension arms to the chassis. They isolate road vibrations while allowing controlled suspension movement. Over time, These rubber bushings deteriorate from heat, age, and road salt exposure. The rubber cracks, tears, and eventually separates completely. When bushings fail, you'll notice several symptoms: clunking noises over bumps, steering wander where the car doesn't track straight, uneven tire wear, especially on the inside edges, vibration through the steering wheel at highway speeds. Many owners live with these symptoms for months, thinking they're just normal aging. But worn bushings cause accelerated tire wear and stress other suspension components. Here's what makes this expensive. Most shops recommend replacing entire control arms instead of just bushings. They'll quote you $1,500 to $2,500 for complete front suspension overhaul. But in many cases, you can replace just the bushings for $400 to $600. The problem is, most shops don't want to press out old bushings and press in new ones. It's time-consuming and labor-intensive. Prevention strategies are straightforward. Inspect bushings every 60,000 miles. Look for cracks, tears, or separation. Catch them early and replacement is cheaper. Avoid potholes and rough roads when possible. Every impact stresses bushings and accelerates deterioration. In salt belt states, wash your undercarriage regularly during winter. Road salt accelerates rubber deterioration dramatically. Apply rubber preservative to visible bushings annually. Products like 303 Protectant prevent UV damage and extend bushing life significantly. Most Lexus bushings last 100,000 to 150,000 miles with proper care. In harsh climates or with rough driving, they might fail around 80,000 miles. Models most affected. All Lexus models, but particularly older ES, LS, and GS sedans with higher mileage. The heavier weight and softer suspension tuning accelerates bushing wear. Failure number 5. Timing chain stretch on high-mileage engines. This is the failure that keeps me up at night because it can destroy an engine in seconds. Modern Lexus engines use timing chains instead of timing belts. Chains are designed to last the life of the engine with proper maintenance, but they can stretch over time, especially if oil changes are neglected. Timing chains connect the crankshaft to the camshafts, ensuring valves open and close at precisely the right moments. When chains stretch, this precise timing relationship becomes sloppy. The first symptom is a rattle during cold starts. You'll hear it for 1 to 3 seconds right after starting. Then it goes away as oil pressure builds and tensioners take up the slack. Most owners ignore this rattle. It goes away, so it must be fine, they think. Wrong. That rattle is stretched chains slapping against guides before tensioners can control them. Every time you hear that rattle, the chains are causing microscopic damage to guides and tensioners. As stretching progresses, the rattle lasts longer. Eventually, you might hear it continuously, or even when the engine is warm. Here's the catastrophic failure scenario. Stretched chains can jump teeth on the timing gears. When this happens, pistons hit valves that should be closed. Valves bend, pistons crack. The engine destroys itself in milliseconds. I've seen perfectly good engines with 140,000 miles completely destroyed by jumped timing chain. The repair? $8,000 to $12,000 for engine replacement or complete rebuild. But timing chain failure is preventable with one simple practice. Religious oil changes every 5,000 miles with quality synthetic oil. Timing chains depend entirely on proper lubrication. Clean oil keeps chains, tensioners, and guides healthy. Dirty oil accelerates wear and allows chains to stretch. If you hear any startup rattle, have it diagnosed immediately. Early chain replacement costs $2,000 to $3,000. Waiting until failure costs $8,000 to $12,000. Check your oil level monthly. Running low on oil even once can damage chain tensioners and accelerate wear. Models most affected: V6 engines and ES, RX, GS, and IS models, especially 2007 to 2015 models approaching 150,000 miles. The 2 GRFE engine family is particularly susceptible to chain stretch if oil changes are neglected. The prevention mindset. These 5 failures share one common theme. They're all preventable with knowledge and proactive maintenance. Carbon buildup prevented with fuel additives and occasional hard driving. Water pump failure prevented with proactive replacement and coolant service. Transmission problems prevented with regular fluid changes. Bushing deterioration prevented with inspection and care. Timing chain stretch prevented with religious oil changes. None of these failures happen suddenly. All give warning signs. All progress gradually from minor annoyance to catastrophic failure. The key is catching them early when repairs are cheap and simple. Create a prevention schedule based on these failure modes. At 50,000 miles, start using fuel system cleaner regularly. At 80,000 miles, inspect bushings and plan for water pump replacement. At 100,000 miles, service transmission fluid and check timing chain condition. Keep records of everything. Know exactly when each service was performed. This prevents duplicate services and ensures nothing gets forgotten. Pay attention to your Lexus. Learn what normal sounds like, feels like, drives like. When something changes, investigate immediately. Early detection saves thousands. The cost of prevention versus repair. Let's talk real numbers. Preventing these 5 failures costs approximately $2,500 spread over 150,000 miles. Fuel system cleaner every 10,000 miles. $200 total over 150,000 water pump replacement at $120,400. Transmission fluid service at $60,000 and $120,400. Control arm bushing replacement at $100,600. Timing chain maintenance through proper oil changes. $900, 18 oil changes. Total prevention cost, $2,500. Now compare that to repair costs when these failures occur. Carbon buildup causing engine problems, $1,500 to $3,000. Water pump failure causing overheating damage, $4,000 to $8,000. Transmission valve, body failure, $3,000 to $5,000. Complete suspension overhaul from worn bushings, $2,000 to $3,000. Timing chain failure, destroying engine, $8,000 to $12,000. Total potential failure cost, $18,500 to $31,000. The math is obvious. Spending $2,500 on prevention saves you $20,000 to $30,000 in repairs. But most owners don't think this way. They see prevention as an expense rather than an investment. They skip services to save money today, then pay exponentially more later. Be smarter than that. Invest in prevention. Your future self will thank you. What you should do this week. Don't just watch this video and forget about it. Take action this week. Check your mileage and service history. Identify which of these 5 failures you're most at risk for, based on your current mileage. Inspect your car for warning signs. Listen for startup rattles. Look for coolant leak. Check transmission fluid color. Examine suspension bushings. Schedule any overdue services immediately. Don't wait until next month or your next paycheck. Every delay allows more damage. Create a prevention schedule going forward. Mark calendar reminders for regular fuel system cleaner, fluid changes, and inspections. Your Lexus is capable of 300,000 plus trouble-free miles, but only if you prevent these 5 common failures. Knowledge is worthless without action. Now that you know what fails and why, take steps to prevent it. Your engine, transmission, and bank account will thank you. If you found these tips helpful, be sure to watch this next video as we're sharing insider tips to help you cut repair costs and keep your car running like new.